Welcome back to your home for fascinating numismatic finds and the untold stories behind everyday money. Today, we're diving deep into the world of a coin that you might just have in your pocket right now, the 1979 Liberty 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial Penny. You won't believe the hidden history, unique facts, and surprising value behind this humble cent. So grab your magnifying glass and let's explore the story that one small coin can tell. Let's rewind the clock to understand where this coin truly comes from. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, but the 16th President of the United States, the great emancipator himself, Abraham Lincoln. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, a Lithuanian immigrant and sculptor whose initials VDB would become both iconic and, at one point, controversial. From 1909 to 1958, the coin featured Lincoln on the front and two wheat stalks on the reverse, commonly known as the wheat penny. But in 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday and the 50th anniversary of the coin, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Fast forward to 1979. America was deep in the Cold War, disco ruled the airwaves, and inflation was eroding the buying power of every penny. Yet, through all this change, the Lincoln Memorial cent endured, still made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. The design remained simple and powerful. Lincoln's profile on the front with the bold word Liberty to his left, the mint year 1979 to his right, and I in God we trust arched above. The 1979 penny came in three main varieties struck at three different U.S. mints. Philadelphia Mint. These coins bear no mint mark under the date. Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark. San Francisco Mint. These were specially made proof coins, bearing an S mint mark. Now here's where things get a bit interesting. While most coins were made for circulation, the San Francisco Mint's coins were struck with greater precision and care for collectors. These proof coins have a mirror-like finish and extra sharp details. In fact, if you look closely at a 1979 S-proof penny under magnification, you might spot something peculiar. The Type 1 versus Type 2 mint marks. Type 2 has a clearer, more defined, and those are much more sought after. Let's talk numbers, because quantity affects rarity. Over 6 billion 1979 Lincoln cents were struck by the Philadelphia Mint. Over 4.1 billion came from the Denver Mint. The San Francisco Mint produced over 3.6 million proof pennies. That's a total of more than 10 billion Lincoln Memorial cents minted in 1979. But here's the catch: the vast majority were spent, lost, or damaged over the years. And while 1979 isn't considered a rare year for the Lincoln cent, certain conditions and types of errors make them worth far more than 1 cent. Now for the part you've been waiting for: the errors and rarities. Because sometimes, mistakes make money. Double die errors. Some 1979 Lincoln cents display noticeable doubling in the lettering, especially on Liberty or the date. These double die errors are highly collectible, especially in uncirculated condition. Off-center strikes coins that were not properly aligned in the press and are missing parts of the design can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on how off-center the strike is. BIE error, a popular die break that appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, making it look like it says BIE. These are fairly common but still collectible. 1979 S-Type 2 proofs. These are the shining stars. Clear S mint mark and pristine surfaces. These coins can be worth a significant premium, especially in proof 69 or proof 70 condition. Alright, let's break down the value. If you have a 1979 penny from circulation, meaning it's been used and is in average condition, it's still worth just 1 cent. Yes, even after all these years. But and here's the juicy part: if your coin is in uncirculated condition, or better yet, in a certified MS-65 or higher grade, it could be worth between 50 cents and $2. Now, if you have a 1979 S-Type 2 proof Lincoln cent, the value skyrockets. These coins in PR69 can fetch $15 to $30, and a flawless PR70 coin can sell for $100 or more at auction. The rarest versions? Error coins. A dramatic off-center strike or a double die in near mint condition could be worth anywhere from $20 to several $100s, depending on the error and coin grading. And remember, copper value counts to all. 1979 pennies are made of 95% copper. With copper prices rising, the intrinsic metal value of each coin is around 2 to 3 cents, technically more than face value. But remember, melting US cents is illegal. Want to check your change for treasure? Here's what to do. 1. Use a magnifying glass to look at the date and Liberty for doubling. 2. Flip the coin and examine Lincoln Memorial for clarity and detail. 3. Check the mint mark. No letter means Philadelphia, D means Denver, and S means San Francisco, a good sign you've got a proof coin. 4. If you suspect an error or proof, consider submitting it to a third-party grader like PCGS or NGC. 5. Store your coins properly. Airtight coin holders and soft gloves can preserve value. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1979 Liberty 1 cent coin. From its noble tribute to Abraham Lincoln, to billions made and the rare few that can bring big bucks, it's a symbol of American history, economy, and culture wrapped up in a tiny copper disc. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about the coins jingling in your pocket, every cent has a story, and now, you know this one. So the next time you see a 1979 penny, don't just toss it aside. Examine it. Cherish it. Who knows, you might be holding a tiny treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories every week. Got a rare coin you want us to cover? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, history is in your hands. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable coins hiding in your pocket change. That's right, we're talking about the 1983 Lincoln cent, the iconic Liberty 1 cent coin from the United States Mint. You won't believe how much this tiny copper-plated piece of metal could be worth today. Stay tuned, because this is one episode you don't want to miss. The story of the Lincoln cent begins long before 1983. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person's face, breaking the tradition of classical Liberty designs. Fast forward to 1959, the reverse design was changed from the iconic wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design stayed in place until 2008, and the 1983 D Lincoln cent is a part of that rich numismatic legacy. Now let's talk about the year 1983. This was a historic period in the world of coinage. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint made a dramatic change to the penny's composition. Due to rising copper prices, the mint transitioned from the traditional 95% copper to a much cheaper copper-plated zinc composition. This saved the government millions of dollars. But here's where it gets interesting. This change brought with it a series of challenges and errors, making some coins from this era extremely rare and valuable. The 1983 D Lincoln cent was minted at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark just below the date. Over 6.4 billion of these pennies were produced. That's right, billions. But among those billions are a few spectacular gems that are worth a small fortune today. The 1983 D penny is supposed to be made of zinc with a thin copper plating. However, a few extremely rare 1983 D cents have been discovered that are made entirely of copper, an error likely caused by leftover copper planchets from 1982. These rare copper composition coins are not just valuable, they are legendary. One of the most famous types of the 1983 D penny is the copper planchet error. These are the pennies that were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of the new zinc core. These coins can weigh about 3.1 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams, which is how collectors spot them. Another rare error is the double die reverse or DDO/DDR. Although much rarer in the 1983 D series than the Philadelphia version, any double die errors from this year are worth a second look. Misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and broad strikes can also add significant value. In historical terms, the 1983 D penny represents more than just a monetary unit. It's a symbol of economic transition, technological change, and collector passion. What was once minted to save money has now become a prized possession that could be worth thousands, because collectors cherish scarcity, history, and error types. That's why a coin you might have ignored yesterday could be a fortune in your coin jar today. Now, let's talk about the big question. What is the 1983 D Lincoln Liberty 1 cent coin worth today? In circulated condition, most 1983 D pennies are only worth their face value, 1 cent. However, uncirculated examples in mint state 65 condition can fetch anywhere from $5 to $15 depending on the demand and strike quality. But that's not the whole story. If you happen to have one of the rare copper era versions, its value skyrockets. One authenticated 1983 D copper penny sold at auction for over $15,000. Yes, you heard that right, $15,000. Even a lesser example can bring in $5,000 to $10,000 depending on its condition and provenance. So grab your scale, check the weight, inspect for doubling, and look out for any signs of minting errors, because one small cent might just make you a whole lot richer. If you're getting into coin collecting or treasure hunting, here are a few tips. Always inspect your pocket change. Use a high-quality magnifier or loupe. Weigh your 1983 D pennies. 2.5 grams means zinc, 3.1 grams might mean copper. And when in doubt, get your coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Join coin collecting forums, attend coin shows, and connect with other collectors. The community is full of knowledge and opportunities. Who knows, the next great discovery could be in your own collection. So there you have it, the full story of the 1983 D Liberty 1-cent coin. From its humble beginnings to the potential of thousands of dollars in value, this coin is a perfect example of why numismatics is so exciting. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful, share it with your coin-loving friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting. Hey there, coin collectors and history lovers. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the past, one coin at a time. And today, oh boy, we've got a small piece of copper-plated history that's worth way more than its face value, both in dollars and in stories. We're talking about the 1995 Liberty 1-cent coin from the United States, also known as the 1995 Lincoln cent. At first glance, it's just a penny, but don't be fooled. This little coin holds mystery, history, and in some rare cases, money you didn't even know was hiding in your pocket change. Stick around because you'll want to hear about the era that could make your 1995 penny worth over $1,000. Let's start with the design. The obverse of the coin features the right-facing portrait of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. This portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been on the penny since 1909. That's over a century of numismatic tradition. The word liberty is etched boldly to the left of Lincoln's profile, a staple on every U.S. coin. Above Lincoln's head, you'll find the iconic phrase "In God We Trust," and on the right side, the date, 1995. On the reverse of the coin, we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, who served as the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. This design graced the penny from 1959 to 2008. Beneath the memorial is the denomination, 1 cent. Above it, United States of America, and right in the center, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. But did you know the 1995 penny is more than just a continuation of an old design? It was the year a major minting error shook the numismatic world. Now let's talk about what really makes this year special, the 1995 double die obverse error. Some 1995 pennies, specifically those minted in Philadelphia, came out of the presses with noticeable doubling in the inscriptions on the obverse side. We're talking about clear, visible doubling on the words liberty and in God we trust, and sometimes even on the date itself. And no, this isn't your eyes playing tricks. This is the result of a misalignment during the die creation process. When a working die is impressed with the design multiple times but shifts slightly between impressions, you get what collectors call a double die. Unlike minor mechanical doubling or shelf doubling, this 1995 DDO, double die obverse, is dramatic, and that's why it's so desirable. These coins were initially overlooked, but sharp-eyed collectors began spotting the anomaly shortly after release. The 1995 Lincoln cents were minted in two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a small D below the date. Let's break down the numbers. Philadelphia Mint, over 6.4 billion coins were minted. Denver Mint, around 7.1 billion coins came out of Denver. That's right. More than 13 billion 1995 pennies in total. So yes, it's a common coin in circulation. But remember, only a small fraction of the Philadelphia coins have the double die error, and that rarity is what gives them their edge in the collector's market. Now let's get down to what everyone wants to know. What's this coin actually worth? If you've got a regular 1995 penny with no error, and it's been used and circulated, it's typically worth its face value of 1 cent even in slightly better condition, say in fine or very fine. It might only fetch 1 to 3 cents from a buyer. In uncirculated condition. A regular 1995 Lincoln cent can sell for around 10 to 25 cents depending on its luster and overall preservation. If you're lucky enough to have a coin graded MS65 or higher by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, it might go for around $1 to $5. But here's where things get exciting. If you've got the 1995 double die obverse, things change dramatically. These era coins are in high demand, especially when they are in mint state condition. Let's talk numbers. In circulated condition, a 1995 DDO can sell for anywhere from $20 to $50. In mint state condition, you're looking at $100 to $300 depending on the grade. High-end examples graded MS67 or above have sold for over $1,000 at auction. In fact, there was a 1995 DDO Lincoln cent graded MS69 by PCGS that sold for over $3,000. So yeah, that penny in your change jar? It might just be a hidden treasure. Want to check if your 1995 penny is the jackpot variety? Here's how to identify the double die. 1. Grab a magnifying glass, ideally 5x or stronger. 2. Look closely at the word Liberty. If the letters look doubled or shadowed, that's a good sign. 3. Check In God We Trust, especially the word trust. Doubling here is usually very clear. 4. Examine the date, particularly the digits 9 and 5. Doubling may appear thick and slightly shifted. It's that simple. Well, almost. Getting a coin professionally graded and authenticated is the best way to ensure its value. Absolutely. Especially if you're just getting into coin collecting. They're easy to find, cheap to acquire, and if you know what to look for, they offer great potential for profit. Here are some quick tips. Always check your pocket change. Visit coin shows and dealer booths. Some dealers still sell these undervalued. Use coin rolls from banks to hunt in bulk. Store your finds in protective flips or capsules to prevent damage. And most importantly, get educated. Follow coin forums, watch videos like this one, and read grading guides. This tiny piece of metal carries over 200 years of American history, a design legacy dating back to 1909, and, if you're lucky, a printing error that can turn a penny into a payday. So the next time you get a handful of change, don't just toss it in the jar. Look closely. That 1995 Liberty 1 cent coin could be your gateway into the world of numismatics. Or a surprising windfall. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another treasure hunt. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp and your coins closer. Happy hunting!